Welcome, everyone. My name is Rainey Anderson, and it is my complete privilege to continue our series, Dishing with Diamonds. We have a very special guest with us today because she's a personal friend of mine. Celeste Gwynn is not only my sponsor, the #1 ambassador of all of Plexus, she has a heart, y'all, that is so big, and she's incredibly generous, one of the most generous people I know. She loves her family, she loves Jesus, she loves her friends, and she loves pouring into this amazing opportunity called Plexus. So we're so honored that she decided to spend part of her morning with us just to impart some inspiration, wisdom, and encouragement upon each of you. So, Celeste, welcome.
Hi guys, how are you?
They're all on mute, so they can just kind of give you a thumbs up.
So it's a little crazy over here. Before we get started, I have to let you know I have carpet installers and I can hear my dog barking. So I'm just letting all of you know this is real life, okay? We're all jumping in, you know, I've got a hat on. That just means I didn't wash my hair today. This is real and authentic as it gets, and y'all are going to have to deal with the background noise. Let me know, Rainey, if it gets too bad, and I could maybe even pick up my laptop and walk into another room, like if you guys can't hear me.
So far, so good, but I'll definitely let you know. So just sit back. You guys, I hope everyone just settles into their office space or their car space. Celeste, we're just going to have a chat. I'm going to ask you some questions and let the team get to know you a little bit better, and I know they're going to learn something from you as well along the way. So my first question for you, sweet friend, is describe your life before Plexus.
Yeah, okay, first of all, these are like the best questions ever. I looked over them last night and I didn't really prepare an answer, but I was like, wow, these are good. So this is fun. This is like get to know you stuff. This is not just facts. You know, we always say facts tell, stories sell. So I'm hoping that as we go through these, you get to know me a little bit more and you realize how normal I really am. And if I can do this, anyone can do this. But my life before Plexus was mom life. I don't know if you've heard that. I mom so hard, but like that was me, man. I was like, I mom so hard. Like that is who I am. That was my identity was really, really in being mom to Maddie, Grace, and Nathan, and of course, wife to Andrew. But my life before was very, very full. I loved being a stay-at-home mom. It was very fulfilling for me. I understand, so this isn't like a judgmental thing. I understand the folks that need something else. I really do. Like, I get it. But for me, God just did not put that in my heart. I was always very fulfilled being a mom. I loved seeing who my kids were becoming and felt successful at the end of every day when I put my head on my pillow. So that was kind of my life before. You know, a little side note to that, I still consider myself a stay-at-home mom. I know Rainey does too, and I know that so many of you work in this business. That's the greatest thing about it. You know, you can have another career and fit it in the nooks and crannies of your life. It can be your career. You can still be a stay-at-home mom and fit it in the nooks and crannies of your life. So it's a pretty great gig, and I'm really, really thankful for it. But that's my life before was just typical stay-at-home mom, loving life.
So talk to us about how you got into Plexus, and then why Plexus? You were fulfilled being mama. So walk us through the shorter version of your Plexus journey. Yeah,
I mean, you know, ironically enough, it started on Facebook, you know, period, end of discussion. Scrolling through my news feed, saw pictures of my roommate from college. And the really funny thing about that is it was not a Plexus post, which is why I will tell you it's very important to continue to post lifestyle posts and kind of, you know, what you posted before Plexus. I just saw a picture of her with her baby, and she looked amazing. And that's kind of how I got started. I called her up and asked her about it. It's how Rainey got started too. She was a customer of Jen Hawkins as well, and we loved the product, and we had great success, and we felt amazing. But that's how I became familiar with Plexus. Was just best friend from college, roommate, picture of her on Facebook, called her up, said, "What are you doing?" She shared the business with me. And I said, no, thank you, you know, but where do I order product? And the rest is kind of history. I had great success with the product and have never looked back. I mean, I think I've been drinking the pink drink for close to 5 years. You too, right, Rainey?
Well, mine's been 4. About
Okay.
4 years.
Okay. So I think I'm at 4 years and 7 months.
Yes.
A little over 4.5. So pretty crazy to think. Haven't missed a pink drink. I did a juice cleanse one time and decided I wasn't going to do my pink drink. And oh my word, I'm just saying that because it's a small group. It was not pretty.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I know there have been days that I've missed just for one reason or the other, and I definitely miss it.
Oh yeah,
those days for sure. So,
yeah.
okay, so Celeste, you joined the business, and then what made you? Was it more as a favor to Jenny? Was it because you looked at this as just a challenge of there were goals involved, and I'll see what I can do with it?
That's great. So I should go back a little bit, kind of combined the last question with this question. I should mention to each of you that I was a preferred customer for 9 months. And during that 9 months, this is going to tell you why there's fortune in the follow-up. During that 9 months, I think Jen Hawkins reached out to me 8 times. So probably every single month she was doing her due diligence with that follow-up of, hey, Celeste, are you sure you don't want to join? Hey, Celeste, you sent me 30 customers. Are you sure they could be your customers? Are you sure you don't want to do this? And finally, I had everyone in my family on the product. She just convinced me that I was a complete nutcase, that I was, preferred customer for like every member of my family, basically at that stage of the game, and convinced me that I should join to get my product wholesale. And here's what I will tell you, and I would tell you if Jen was sitting right here next to me, because I say it all the time in front of her. Jen was manipulating me, okay? Best friends can do that. It's okay. But Jen has known me since I was 18 years old. Jen knows that I have a big mouth, that I'm a little bit bossy, that I'm a sharer, that if I like something, I'm going to tell the whole world. She knew that I had already sent her 30 customers. So she knew I had a huge sphere of influence. We didn't use that word at the time, right? I mean, like that wasn't really in my vocabulary. I just would have said, I got lots of friends. I love people. But she knew that about me. And so once I jumped in, I will tell you, I jumped in day 1, wasn't going to work the business. Day 2, talk about manipulation. She calls me back, tells me about this trip to Hawaii. And she knows that that's like my jam. Like she knows traveling is my love language. If there was a 6th one, that would be mine. And told me about this trip that her and Cody, who I also went to college with, her husband, were going on this trip. And I'm like, well, if you're going, I'm going. What do I have to do? And she told me what I had to do. And, I caught the vision really quickly. I looked at that comp plan. I looked at the products. I knew that I had had success. I knew that I'd already told everyone. I thought I'd told everyone that I knew. I think I actually told Jen Hawkins, I don't think I have anyone else that's interested. I think I've tapped out my network that second day, which that's pretty hilarious. But, we talk now about putting on your blinders. That's like our big, put on your blinders, be on your journey. And listen, I mean, I didn't need blinders, right? If I looked right or left, there was nobody there, right? Jen Hawkins was really the only person I knew doing this business. We were learning it together. Thankfully, I had great friends that trusted me and joined me and, loved me in spite of my weaknesses in the beginning. And we're where we are because we all just kind of said, okay, let's do this, off to the races. And we were just flying by the seat of our pants. I mean, really, that's something I'll talk about a little bit later because I think I'll just talk about it now. I think we complicate this process a little bit 4 years in because so many people are brilliant and have built this business with so many different techniques, right? I mean, they're all good. They're all amazing. So I'm not saying that to be ugly. I'm saying that when we started this, it was just sharing, right? We were just like, holy moly, this comp plan works. These products work. We're going to tell everybody we know because we want everybody to feel like we feel. So let's just share it with everyone that we know. Is that really loud or is it okay?
It's still okay. I don't have it on gallery view, so I can't get everyone's feedback on that.
I'll give you a thumbs up if it's okay. Okay. Let me know if it gets too loud, and I'll just unplug and walk in the other room since we're a formal group of really good friends. We can do that. All right. Does that answer that question?
Absolutely. No, it does. And I want to share this with you because I have shared this a number of times on my Zoom calls. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to hear it. So I know you remember the time that I called you and said, okay, first of all, I didn't even know that we could make money with plexus gig. And we spent about 2 hours on the phone together. The whole reason why I jumped into it was even in our naive state of just joining plexus, not really knowing all the blessings that were to come and really what those could look like. The fact is that you validated that business for me. And that's why I jumped in. It was because you had success with it the first month. And so I said, I can do that too, and I can join her. And guess what? This group of moms, we're going to have fun doing it. So, I think that's so important as we're talking to people that we understand that we could be that validator for somebody.
Right.
So, okay, my next question for you is, how do you get motivated and how do you stay motivated? Because Celeste, you've been rocking this thing hard for almost 4 years now, and you've had incredible success, incredible momentum. And so I know that there are times that, number one, how do you even get in that state? And then let's face it, 4 years in, going hard, how do you stay motivated?
Yeah, I think for me, staying motivated has always been about having a strong why, right? I mean, it's always been so easy for me to stay passionate and stay motivated because I've always had a strong why that has completely evolved, right? I mean, it's never been all about the same thing. I think my why has probably changed somewhat monthly since the day I signed up, I had somebody, I went to a network marketing thing 2 weeks ago, a John Maxwell thing, and it was so good. And I had somebody there who's a leader in the industry, and they said to me, why do you still work? They said, if the rumors are true about how much money you make, and I promise you the rumors aren't true. I make more money than what people think I make. But the guy said, if the rumors are true, it was a guy and a girl, why would you still work? And I said, okay, I'm getting feedback that it's noisy. I'm going to walk in the other room. Hopefully I don't go dead. So we're going to see what happens with this. If I go dead, y'all just got to wing it and I'll hop back on. Okay, I'll come back in here and plug it in. This is real life. So basically what I told him was, I still work because my why is changing life. I still work because my why is seeing other people have the success that I'm having. It would be really, really easy to just quit and live off of residual income, right? Residual income is pretty stinking amazing. But that's not that rewarding to me. That's kind of the opposite of rewarding to me. To go, okay, and really my best friends have made it too. So now I'm just gonna stop. That's just not my MO. So right now my why is helping other people have the success that I've had. And that's what brings me joy. That's what fills my cup. And that's how I stay motivated.
That's awesome. Well, and your heart totally speaks to that. You get?
Thank you.
Your heart totally speaks to that, and you walk the walk, and you continue to blaze a trail and be a beacon of inspiration for people in this business, whether we've been here from the start with you or for those that are just joining. And so it's a great example to follow. So let's talk about, do you have a motivational phrase or a go-to phrase? And this team gets really tired of me saying this because they hear this, but I'm going to share it with you because I don't know if you've ever heard it. So I totally think that the character from Finding Nemo, Dory, is completely adorable. I so relate with her because I have a short-term memory, but I remain ultimately positive in life. And so I'm just always like, let's just keep swimming, guys. We might be swimming in a pool of sharks, so let's just keep swimming. And that's my just fun motivational phrase. And then, of course, just in the still of, what life can bring us sometimes. I love going to Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I'm God. And so I never ask you to do anything that I'm not willing to share, although my team's probably like, we heard that before. But so what would you say are your phrases?
So I have two, and one of them is scripture, and one of them is just something that I believe in strongly. And the scripture is Jeremiah 29:11.
Did we may have lost Celeste for a second, and so we heard her say Jeremiah 29:11. I know that I'm going to text her and let her know that maybe we've lost connection here. You know, this is like sometimes the fun of live Zoom feeds is losing people. We may want to put up, I'm just going to let her know I lost you. Okay, we may want to put up with the noise because I think Celeste lives out in the country. And so she has not the very best connection. It looks like we may have lost her briefly. Hi, yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I have no idea how I lost you. That was really weird.
That's okay. You're back, though. See, we can totally wing it, though. That's what I told him. I'm learning live TV here. That's what it feels like.
I mean, I literally planned this call because there was not supposed to be anyone in my house this morning. There's some irony here. I wish I was probably full working in or outside my house, like right now. And then there's a dog running around, and it's kind of nuts.
Just how it goes, right?
Yep. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. It's a little bit of a choppy reception, so I know that being out in the country kind of presents its challenges. So I've said we may just rather put up with the noise if your office is the best connection. And I don't even know if you can still hear me or not. Nope.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I think everyone.
What the heck? Okay, I'm going to walk around my house again. I'm going to keep walking. We're going to make it work. All right. Oh my word. I think I could go in Maddie Grace's room and it'll be super quiet.
Well, I bet everyone's just loving getting a tour of your home. See y'all, this is like bonus footage here.
I'm cracking up.
So okay. Tell us more. Okay, so Jeremiah 29:11. For I know that. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the other one, and I haven't been in here. It's probably messed. And this is actually like a Celeste quote. Like, I just made it up. But I say you have to work it for it to work. And I think that so often in this business, people say they're going to work it, but they don't work it, and then they get mad when it doesn't work for them. And as a leader in this business, and I know that you can vouch for this too, there are no leaders in Plexus that this was easy for them. You will not meet a jewel anywhere that will tell you they did not work really, really hard. Now listen, we work really, really hard, but how blessed are we that we fit in the nooks and crannies of our life? You know what I mean? We work really, really hard, but I work really, really hard when it works for me. Yesterday, I didn't do a whole lot of work during the day, came home, put my kids to bed, did Zoom calls from 8 to 10. My husband's out of town. It didn't affect anyone in my family. But you have to work it for it to work. And I think that so often people will join network marketing just in general, and they think it's going to be easy. They think they're going to win the lottery. They're going to just, sign 2 folks up, and then, it's all just going to happen for them. And when it's work, they are surprised. And that's always mind-boggling to me, because everything worth having, you have to work for, So I think that that's something that lately I've really realized with some folks that I thought had what it takes, and then they bailed. I realized they weren't working it. They wanted it to work for them, but they didn't want to work it.
I feel like we're about to be in church and we're going to start getting up and preaching here, because I totally agree with you. And we cannot look at network marketing and because we say you can work it in the nooks and crannies, and because we say you develop financial freedoms, that doesn't mean that it doesn't come with sacrifice. There's sacrifice in anything that brings you a blessing. I mean, look in your Bible, y'all. Go read your stories. There's always sacrifice and blessings. And then additionally, I say for those of us that have had jobs while we're working plexus. You know, you go work your job from 9 to 5 if you're lucky, and then you come home and you work plexus from 5 to faint. If you really want it, you know, and that's what I tell people is that, you know, you work it in, but you're going to have some sacrifices in it for sure. So let's move on to this question. How do you invite someone to take a look at the products or the business? And I know that people are very interested in this question from you because you've had great success in your personal sign-ons. And so talk to us about what that has looked like for you in the past or even the present day.
Yeah, so I have written boldly in my notes just the word naturally. You know, I share naturally as it fits into conversation. And I think that being a conversationalist, having good conversation skills will take you so far in this business. And, you know, something that my mommy used to say to me that I say to my team is we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak. And what I found in this business is people just want to know that you care. Before they care what you know, they want to know that you care. And if you're listening, you're going to have little ding, 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 ding. They need plexus. Ding, 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 ding. It doesn't mean you go, oh, you need plexus and you shake them. It means you listen to where they're at. You meet them where they're at. And when it's natural, you go, man, you know, I have the answer. Let me tell you what I do. Or, hey, what do you do? Oh, awesome. You work at a bank? That's awesome. Oh, what do? I work for a health and wellness company. Like, I just always try to make it so natural, almost like the anti-network marketer. You know, like I never, ever wanted people to doubt my sincerity because my relationships were so important to me beforehand. As I'm building this business, I never want anyone I meet to ever doubt my sincerity and why I'm building a relationship with them. You know, I don't ever want them to think I'm just trying to sell them something. So, I mean, listen, I don't think I've ever told someone about plexus and had them join my team after one conversation. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think I've ever had anyone even order product after one conversation. But every time I'm around them, I'm loving on them, I'm pouring into them, and I'm dripping plexus on them through natural conversation. Not, you know, I don't have my business cards and I'm not like, you know, doing this across the room when I walk into a volleyball game or anything like that. I'm keeping it natural and I'm keeping engaging people every single day. And I share plexus as it feels natural and as it feels right. And listen, don't write down, like, don't share plexus the first time you meet someone. That's not what I'm saying. It may be very, very natural the first time you meet someone. And if it is, by all means, man, get out your business card, get out a 3-day trial and share with them. But I mean, I feel like you can kind of learn when it's natural and when it's not. Do you agree, Rainey? You kind of know when it feels forced and awkward. And you know when the Lord is like, yep, this is the right time to share this. They need this. They need this. And if you feel like that, by all means, share with them on the first time. Like, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying look for natural situations to share. And listen, there's 49 of you. Let me take you to church. Be a group of people that you're genuinely loving on people too, right? Because that is going to be a thing that people will see right through you if it's not sincere. I think that our team has had the success that we have because we're a group of people that genuinely love people, and others are attracted to that.
I could not agree more. We always say, when in doubt, go back to your heart. If you're scared to talk to somebody, tell them. Say, I've been nervous to approach you because I respect you so much. I've been nervous to approach you because you've told me no in the past. You know, just always go with your gut and always love on people first. Don't ever put plexus before your relationships. I couldn't agree more. And I do agree. That's why we've had success.
Yeah. And, you know, another thing to kind of add on to that, when I'm approaching people, what I have found is if I go to Rainey and I say, Rainey, this is what I'm doing. Listen, you have influence. People trust you. People love you. You know, like everyone that you meet, you're such a great hostess. People want to be around you. Your house is warm and inviting, and everyone always talks about how much they want to be around you. That's why I think you would be good at this business, because you're an influencer. Like, listen, Rainey may not be interested in network marketing. Rainey may not be interested in plexus. But Rainey feels really good because I just poured into her truth, right? I love people. It's really easy for me to come up with something good to say about most everyone, okay? So you have to keep it sincere. But, you know, if you go at somebody with a "you're awesome," they're never going to come back at you with a "you suck." It doesn't mean they're going to join your team, but it means they're flattered and you've dripped on them, and you never know. That might make them warm up a little bit, even if they say no, and they might continue to see your posts. You might reach back out again, and you never know. I mean, some of my no's have become my runners. Some of my no, I mean, Roz Payne is a diamond on my team, and she was a no for 4 months. She was a heck no for 4 months. So just know that just because you're getting those no's, that doesn't mean forever no. I never, ever, like, to me, like, a door's never slammed because I stick my foot in there. I wedge it in there every time. And I think a no means not right now. And I know that 4 years later, it's fact. That's not just my opinion. I know it's true because I had so many of those no's become customers and successful ambassadors.
What I love about what you're saying is that this is a skill, y'all, that if it's not something that you're 100% comfortable with, you can develop this skill over time. Celeste has been a person of influence for, I would go to venture, most of her life. And so she's had a lot of practice at this. But the cool thing is that you can start today. It is a learned skill. This is not necessarily something that most of us are born with coming out of our mama's tummies. You know,
Right.
we've learned this along the way. And guess what? It's not too late for you either. So Celeste, tell me, what does your onboarding and even your duplication process, and I'd love to hear a little bit about both, bringing somebody new in, and then how have we trained that through our deep downlines?
So, you know, for me, you know, there's a lot to be said about duplication, right? I mean, I think that's another reason we've had success, but I think it's also because we've kept it pretty simple. We've kept it pretty simple, just about sharing and, you know, info, sending people info, checking in. You want to talk about like my DMO? Is that kind of where we're at?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of a general question. So I think the DMO is, you know, where you're comfortable. Then let's drill down into that.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, what that kind of looks like, first of all, I'll tell you what I've quit doing. And it's going through my day by day by day, hour by hour by hour, minute by minute by minute of telling you why you feverishly take notes what I do every day. And let me tell you why, because it's really big picture. I mean, I had this conversation with Jen Hawkins, and we really talked about, hey, what do you do every day? This is what I do. Okay, this is what I do. And here's the funny part about that, y'all. She's got babies. She's got lots of babies, right? And they're all at home. And I have, well, they're still my babies, but teenagers that are not at home. So what I do every day looks quite different from what she does every day, right? So what I would do, like in the very beginning when I was getting started, what I did every day, it was a ton of follow-up, a ton of reaching out. It was making that list of 100, and not just making that list, but reaching out to people on that list, okay? And it was expanding that list every single day. If I got to 50, I wanted to add 50 more names. So I would look at the person, I go, who else do I know that they know? And I would add them to my list. And then the next person, who else do I know that they know? And I would add them to my list. But it was a lot of reaching out. It was a lot of meeting for coffee, a lot of getting on the phone. I didn't do Zoom calls in the beginning, but it was a lot of face-to-face, because here's the thing that I want to make sure you guys all realize. This right here is amazing. This little computer is amazing. But network marketing is still a belly-to-belly business. And you have to remember that you're not necessarily working your business because you post on Facebook twice a day, or even because you do 531 hidden behind here, reaching out to 5 new folks, following up with 3 and training 1. I mean, even in the beginning, I know me and Rainey, we were posting on social media. We built using social media, but we were wearing our plexus swag. We were making the decision to sit next to someone we may not know as well at our kids' activities so that we could get to know folks and eventually share plexus with them. it was really a going through your daily life and fitting plexus in. So that kind of, I don't know if that really answers your question. I'm looking at my notes. I think it does.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does answer. And you all, what I want to just emphasize what Celeste has said, and I want to make sure you all have heard it, is that, you know, she emphasizes follow-up. She emphasizes getting in front of people. But additionally, I really want y'all to hear this piece, because I think there's been a gap in communication, or interpretation, actually, not in communication. We absolutely built our businesses utilizing the tool of Facebook. But we utilized it as a tool. I utilized it as a tool to get in front of people saying, hey, it's been so long. When can we get caught up? I want to go have lunch with you. So when I say I'm able to personally sponsor X amount of ambassadors, it's because I took time to go have lunch. I took time to go have coffee. I took time to reinvest in these relationships that I've had throughout my life. Would you agree with that, Celeste?
Yeah. I mean, the key word there is relationships, you know. It's a relationship business. We've often said it should be called relationship marketing. And that's how we've built. I mean, you won't see, there's definitely benefit in doing maybe a trades day or those kind of things to widen your nets. But ultimately, it's going to be about building relationships, building deep relationships, and building that trust. The folks, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you remember when we used to do contests of, hey, pass your card along to a stranger? I have now put a little asterisk behind that and said, don't pass your card along to a stranger unless you intend on building a relationship with them, because what you've just done is planted a seed for somebody else in their core circle that does plexus.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I would even take it a step further and say, connect with them on social media. Get their phone number so that you can reach out to them. We went to a Keith Urban concert this past weekend with a couple of other Plexus ambassadors, and we got there really early, and we're in the pit, which is just a little bit too much for me because I don't really like, I ended up at the very back of the pit because all the people around me. But we were there for an hour, and we're just talking, you know, everybody's having fun. There were people there. This was like their 15th Keith Urban concert. They're hardcore, and there was a whole group from Tulsa. We bonded over rustic cuffs, and we were taking pictures and hashtagging, rustic cuff and all this stuff. And immediately I had 5 new friends on Facebook. Right there, I took a picture of all of our cuffs, and I said, oh my gosh, I need to tag you. They knew what I did. We'd already talked briefly about plexus. They were, about what they did. They're nurses. But I'm connected to them now until they unfriend me. And it may be for a political post. It probably won't be for a plexus post if they do. But, I'm friends with them now, and we're all connected. And they're seeing my post, and they see what I do. And I'm building a relationship with them. If I had just pulled out a business card and handed it to them, there's a 99% chance that would have gone. I mean, listen, they were drinking too. They may not have even remembered it the next day. Let's keep it real. So me following up with them, because I wasn't, they know, I know where they are. If I just hand them a business card, it probably would have ended up on the floor under somebody's feet at the concert. So I could not agree with you more on that. That connection of finding a way to reach back out to them is so key. It's going to be vital.
Absolutely. So, okay, talk to us about your top 3, and I know you have more, but just your top 3 of your favorite business tips.
Yeah, I picked 3 of my favorites. My number 1 would probably be for maybe a newbie that's just signing up. And if you're not a newbie, you can nod your head because I hear it over and over. And it's, don't wait to share. So often, that is the biggest regret that people have. When I talk to them later, they're like, oh my gosh, I wasted a month and a half. I had to wait till I had results. I had to wait until I lost X amount of pounds. I had to wait until I really felt X, Y, or Z, or until I was able to get off of these medications with my doctor's help and all the stuff. They wanted to wait. And what I'm finding as far as duplication with training my newbies, listen, I got people going silver before they've ever gotten their welcome pack, right? And what I'm telling them is share about what you hope happens, right? Ultimately, everyone wants hope. We're in the business of hope. We're hope dealers, the hashtag hope dealers. So if you can get your new folks sharing, not just on social media, but also in their daily life as they're going about their day. I joined this Plexus gig. This is what I hope happens. I hope I'm able to keep my kids at their private school. I hope I'm able to fit back in my skinny jeans. I hope I am a better mom because I have more energy. All these are things that I've read from other people. So I have hope and I believe this is what's going to happen. Man, you want to join me on this journey? So sharing right off the bat is how you get people excited. Your ambassadors that start sharing immediately, they're the ones that end up going to the top. I mean, there's going to be some that they do take that time and then they have that regret and they're kicking themselves. Those are the ones that are nodding. But sharing right off the bat is going to be key. We talked already about this, and you even brought it back up, Rainey, that there's fortune in the follow-up. I say so often, where would we all be if Jen had taken my no as a no? Where would I be? Holy moly. If not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 times Jen had the courage to let me tell her no, right? Where would we be if she had not said, okay, I'm going for it one more time. I'm going to try again. It's the end of the month. Okay, we have free shipping. Okay, we have this. She reached out to me with all those things, and I told her thanks, but no thanks, thanks, but no thanks. Okay? There's fortune in the follow-up. I told you this already. I don't have anybody on my team that I reached out to in one time and they joined. Okay? There were conversations. There were chats. There were them seeing my post on Facebook. That was them seeing me at the kids' school with a plexus shirt on. There's fortune in the follow-up. So that's my number 2. And then my third one is build belief. And belief is a game changer in this business. And the good news is if you don't have it, it's okay. You can build it. You can build belief in our products by reading testimonials, right? And by being a product of the product yourself. If you drink your Slim, you're going to feel better. If you take your Edge, you're going to have better energy. If you take your ProBio 5, you're going to skip a season of allergies without your antibiotic. Facts are facts. I mean, there's proof in the testimonies, right? You can build that through reading testimonies and being a product of the product. You can build belief in our comp plan through watching Diamond Docs, right? You cannot doubt that this comp plan is legit when you can go and watch the stories of 100 successful different people from all different walks of life having crazy success with the business. You can build that. You also have to build belief in yourself. And to me, this is where the big, shift has to take place. You can't doubt the products work. You can't doubt the comp plans work. The comp plan works, but you can doubt yourself. You can believe others can do this. I can't. I don't have what it takes. I've been told my whole life I don't have what it takes. I'm not an influencer like her. I'm an introvert. She's an extrovert. But listen, I'm going to circle back to this Diamond Docs. That is going to help you build belief in yourself as well. Because when you go and you watch those documentaries and you start following leaders on Facebook, you're going to realize we're all so different, right? We're from different socioeconomic levels, different education levels. We live in different parts of the world. We have different moral compasses, different belief systems. There's nothing alike in any of us except that we have passion and belief, and we have belief in the comp plan, belief in the products, and belief in ourselves. So when you go and you watch those, you're going to go, okay, so I may not be like Celeste or Rainey, but I can really relate to Roz Payne. I'm working 60 hours a week. I'm trying to get things done. I can really relate to her. If she can do this, I can do this. And that's going to help you build that belief in yourself. And listen, I'm telling y'all from knowing all the leaders in this company and knowing so many of you on this call and having the belief that I have in the products and in the comp plan and in each of you, I believe you can all do it. I believe every single one of you can be a leader in this company. It just goes back to you figuring out your why, you figuring out your belief, and building that belief in the products, in the comp plan, and in yourself. I have no doubt in my mind that anyone that wants this can do it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I tell this group all the time, they need to congratulate themselves because they are brave, they are unique, they are special. They have said, I am no longer mentally fit to work for somebody else. And
right.
I fully agree with you on this. And what the other thing that I loved everything you said, because I'm a huge proponent of the follow-up. I chant all the time that your business will be made successful in your follow-up, either the fact that you're doing it or the lack thereof. So, I so champion that. And then I loved, and I challenged this group today. Celeste, you said something incredibly genius, the fact that we are hope dealers. Now, we've heard this before, but I love the fact, and I challenged this group today to go out and make a post simply asking your audience, what do you hope for? Do you understand that you have an avenue to follow up with them by their answers? Do you understand that you have an answer for them? So I challenge you today to make a post out there and create some momentum for yourself in the avenue of follow-ups. So a couple more questions.
One more thing to that,
yeah,
Granny?
Absolutely.
Because I kind of already answered the next question.
Yes, you did.
But, as far as, that passion and belief, I think the third thing you have to piggyback on that is commitment. And so often, it's cheesy to say you've got to commit to being committed, but you do. And I think folks will say they're committed, and then when it doesn't happen as quickly as they'd like it to, their commitment isn't there. When they don't have the financial success quickly that they wanted, their commitment isn't there. And to me, it's like commitment is commitment. It'd be like me saying, oh, honey, yeah, we're going to get married 18 years ago, and I'm completely committed to this unless it doesn't go the way that I think it's going to. Because, side note, marriage never goes the way you think it's going to, right? It's always work. It's never easy, right? But I was committed to my husband, and I'm so grateful because there's been so much joy there. Man, if it had taken me 5 years to get to where I am, Rainey, I'm committed to this, right? Absolutely. So my mind is always blown that the folks that say they're committed, and then like a few months later, they either go inactive or they're posting about another network marketing company, or they just don't post about anything, but they're still active, but they're not really working it. Because listen, we have to have money, right? That's just real. Real life is you've got to have an income to pay for your family. So you're saying you're committed, you're passionate about these products. Why on earth would you not do this for the next 10 years? If you love the products like you say you do, if you believe in this business like you say you do, why would you not work this for the next 10 years while you're working your other job? Everybody, you got to have a job to pay the bills. I get it. But why would you not be committed to do this for 5, 10? Seriously, I would have done this for 10 years. That's how much I believe in these products to get to where I am, to go better your family's financial future, to create wealth for yourself instead of going to a job for working for someone you don't love, making them rich, sitting in a cubicle. Like, why would you not commit to do this in the nooks and crannies of your life, regardless of how long it takes? So, that's just kind of that piggyback. You've got the belief, you've got the passion, you've got to have the commitment. And if you love these products like you say you do, you can't walk away from it when you don't grow the business as quickly as you would like, right?
Absolutely.
You can't. You've got to go, okay, no matter what, I got to go to my 9 to 5. Great, I'm going to do Plexus for an hour every night and watch less TV. You're going to be way smarter because of it, right? Watching less TV is always a good plan.
Amen. I can't agree with you more. And, I shared this with this team not too terribly long ago. I've said, be the microwave to your business. As a microwave is to popcorn, be that to your business. So the microwave doesn't give up on the bag of popcorn because it doesn't see kernels producing within the first minute or so of popping. And guess what? The microwave never stops. And I see so many people get involved in this business. They turn on the heat. They're ready. But because they don't see those kernels popping right away, they stop. Well, how effective is a microwave if it stops popping the popcorn in mid-cycle?
Right.
You have to ramp that up again to get the heat going, to get the kernels popping. So be the microwave to your business, please. Okay, so how many level 1 runners, and meaning people that are, you know what a runner is, I don't have to explain that. So how many do you have today?
Okay, so before I tell you,
yes,
I need to tell you that I am a total freak of nature. I am not the norm. And there are lots and lots of folks having huge success in this business with way, way, way less. So I'll tell you what I have, and then I'll tell you what the average diamond has. I have 18 level 1 jewels. So obviously they're all runners, right? Because they're leaders in this company. I have 25 level 1 runners. That's including those 18 jewels. So I have about 7 right now that I believe will be jewel in the next year, that I'm coaching, that they want it bad, that they're consistent, and they absolutely love this business and they're passionate, right? So I have 35 folks working the business. And by that, I mean, they may be doing it as a hobby. And listen, that's okay. Hobby results, great. Hobby effort, hobby results. If you're good with that, I will give you a thumbs up all day long. It's one of the great things about the way our business is set up and our comp plan is run. You can do this as a hobby and still make some, some change and make some good money. But I have about 35 working it. I would say probably 4 of those are hobby and about 9 are really serious. And that's outside of my jewels. But that's ridiculous, okay? Most diamonds, and Rainey, you can tell me if you agree with me on this. You might even be better with the numbers. I would say they have 3 or 4 strong legs. Mm-hmm. 3 or 4 hardcore runners that really, really want it. Maybe 10 work in the business, but 3 or 4 runners. That's pretty average for a diamond. So I always like to say that because, listen, if you told me 4 years ago that I had to find 35 people super excited about this, I would have been overwhelmed by that, right? But if you tell me I've got to find 4 that want it as bad as I do, man, I can do that. That's attainable. I can get 4 of my best friends really excited about this and on board and working this and say, Rainey, dude, we're going to Hawaii together. You're going to do this with me, right? I can do that to Suzanne Clinton and Rainey and Beth and some of these folks that I was already doing life with, and Wendy Rosemeyer, my sister-in-law. I can get them excited. But if you had told me I had to find 35 people, that would have been overwhelming to me. You don't need that many. Hey, listen, it's beautiful, right? I've got crazy, amazing residual income because I have 35. But I promise you the diamonds that are still making that diamond income with 4 or 5 runners, they are loving life too.
Yes, we are, for sure. So last question, and then we'll open it up for just a few questions.
Okay.
Let's talk about, now we've heard, we know you make gangsta money. So what is one fun thing? Because I know you've been able to, and here's the thing, y'all, before we talk about one fun thing she's been able to do, I have to say this because it's my heart to. Celeste has given away more than she's kept. She has funded more than she will ever talk about. And so I want you to understand, when I say she's generous, she's not just generous to the people in her life that see her. She's generous to many that don't even know that it came from her. So I want to say that because she won't. But in the meantime, I know that it just is a fun, silly motivator, though. What is some fun things that you've been able to do with your money?
All right. Well, so first of all, obviously the biggest blessing has been being able to give to missions, which you already said that. And I don't share a whole lot about what we give to missions because I've kind of always lived my life the way that my dad did of, get your reward in heaven, not on earth. So I've never been super duper chatty until recently because I've had some advice from my current pastor that motivates folks. There are folks that will be very motivated to work this business because I've been able to do things for my church and because I've been able to give to missions and because we support, orphans in Africa and Vietnam. And that is going to be a huge motivator to people depending on their color personality, much, much more than the free cars and the trips to Hawaii and the fun stuff that I'm going to share with you of what I've been able to do. But I would say the 2 most fun things that I've been able to do. First of all, I took my family on a safari to Africa. And that was one of those bucket list things that we've been to Africa. My dad's been a missionary there. Really, he's a businessman. But since I was 18, he's done at least a month's worth of mission work there every year. So I've been to Africa many, many, many times. And every time we see these awesome safaris and we see these amazing like 5-star lodges, and we are like, someday we're doing that, right? Someday I'm going to take my family and we're going to do that kind of a 5-star trip. And I was able to do that for my family and surprise them, and I planned the whole thing, and it was amazing. Memories for a lifetime. Also, I was able to double the size of my house. That's the other thing. And listen, one thing you should know about me, I love my house. I loved my house before. My goal has always been to have a house that people walk into and they feel comfortable and warm and it's homey. I grew up in a house that was very similar to a museum. And that was kind of the opposite of what my goal was with my home. I wanted people to come in and not worry about breaking things. And listen, I've got teenagers. There's baseballs and volleyballs flying all the time. So I wanted it to be comfortable. I wanted it to be a place that people could come and fellowship, and we could have church activities. And I've done all of that. Listen, with my small house, I did all of that. So hear my heart when I tell you, doubling the size of my house is super fun. Having my amazing closet is super fun, if you've seen that. But that stuff does not bring me any more joy, okay? It's fun. I get to use it. We're having a camp out here for our youth here in a couple weeks. I love that I can use this place for the kingdom. But the stuff is just stuff. It's fun. I love having more space. Don't get me wrong. But it doesn't bring me any more joy. It's just a fun little perk. So listen, I've got more space. So my goal is to entertain more and to allow our church to do more stuff over here. And that's kind of how I tie that all back together, come full circle. The closet is amazing. If you've seen it, it is super fun. I walk in there and I can't believe it's mine. And I mean, I'm not kidding. I don't mean like one time I walked in there and said, I can't believe this is mine. I mean, like the 7 times a day that I walk in there, I go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is mine. So it is super fun, but it certainly doesn't bring me any more joy.
Well, I've been in that closet, and I think we're the kind of friends that I just snuck in her closet. I didn't ask for permission. I just went in there and I took a picture of it because it is kind of a sanctuary of sorts. So thanks for sharing all of that. So I'm going to change it to a gallery view right now so I can see everybody. And then when we go to ask questions, and then I also, while we're asking questions, I will also be making note of who showed up live today, because we will have a drawing later on in the team today for all of you pretty faces out there. And you all did show up today. I don't know of many calls that go up in number as we are chatting. So if you will, either type in your question. I'm going to go ahead and get started with one because I'm Sarah, and I think I don't know which Sarah, so you may have, if it's Sarah Early, or we've got a few Sarahs on the call. So let me know who you are, type it in. But Sarah asked, what has been the biggest challenge, struggle in your plexus journey? And I'm going to pull this up, Celeste, so I can read it.
Okay.
Word.
That's a good one. Oh, do you want me to answer it, or do you want to read it first?
Well, go ahead and answer. Okay, can you share what has been the hardest thing and easiest thing about your plexus journey?
Okay. Ooh, that's good. Okay, so for me, my hardest thing, and Rainey, you already know this, but has been getting over my pride early on. Those of you that know my family at all, I know there's some locals on the call. I'm from the area that I live in. My family is successful in traditional business. We're involved in our church. We're involved in local politics. We know a lot of folks here, and my family's worked really, really hard to have a good, strong family name for the sake of the kingdom, not for the sake of who's who in McKinney, Texas, right? But for the sake of being a difference maker. And I definitely had some pride in going, okay, what is my family going to think that are very, very successful traditional businessmen? And what is the community going to think that Celeste Gwynn is doing network marketing? I mean, what on earth? Do they need that? Like, is something happening with their businesses? What's going on that she has to get out there and peddle some stuff and post about it and try to get people to buy stuff from her and do this pyramid scheme to make money? So that was my issue, was pride. Now, listen, I'm just going to tie back into what was the easiest part. My hardest part became my easiest part, because very quickly, once I got over it and I realized, okay, that's silly. I've got products that people need. You know, gut health blood sugar regulation and inflammation. Hello. Yes, people need these products. They're changing lives. Why would I not tell everyone that I know if I have something that can help them? And I know that I can because I've watched it help me in so many of my network. And then take it a step further, but getting over myself and going, okay, I'm making really good money. How many friends do I have that struggle financially? How many friends do I have that need this business as much or more than they need the products? So really quickly, that all happened. Like, that sounds like it was a long progression. It wasn't for me. It might be for you, and that's okay too, right? It's a journey. This is a marathon, not a sprint. If you're at that point where you still have that pride, you can get over it. You can get over it and go, hey, I got to share this with everyone because everyone needs this. Doesn't mean everyone's going to join you, but it means because you love them, you're going to share. So that's kind of how it was my hardest and my easiest.
I love that. And because of your willingness to share, you have not only changed so many people's lives from a health perspective, but absolutely from a financial perspective. What I've learned in network marketing, y'all, is that it allows me to be the person that God intended me to be, the freedoms to allow myself to be the person that God intended me to be. It allows me to give more in ways that I could never have imagined. And additionally, it allows me to be a better parent and a better spouse and a better friend. You know, whoever knew all the blessings that would have come from this, and you have changed my life for the better. And I know I've said that to you personally, but I will take this opportunity to say it publicly to this group of people, that had you not been so bold enough, my life, not only from a health perspective, but certainly from a place of finances, y'all know I needed not only to provide an income for my family, it was just Sadie and I needed to not just provide income, provide a roof over our head, provide food on the table. And because of Celeste, that became a reality for me as, at the time, a single mom. But because of Celeste, my friendship with Heather Rice grew even stronger because of Plexus. And because of that, Heather saw saw a connection there, and my now husband that I'll be celebrating 2 years with. So it's not, it's impacting generations to come, Celeste, what you've done. So be proud of that. I know you are. Okay, we've got so many questions coming in, and we're going to take a few of them. So let's see. Jennifer had a good one. She said, what about for those that are more introverted? We talked about how conversation skills are a must. For those that are more introverted, what would you say is the best way to improve and grow in that area?
Well, first of all, I will tell you there are a lot of introverts that are having very, very huge success in this business. My two upline, Erin Harrison, I think she would be, if she was on this call, the first one to tell you that she's an introvert. She is hugely successful in this business because she knew Jen Hawkins, right? Jen's her strongest leg. She's got some folks outside of Jen working it too. But as an introvert, man, some folks that are super chatty. You can take this to the top. You just get the right people on your team, right? And I think that I'm not an introvert, so it's hard for me to speak to even how I would have grown this business if I was one. But I think introvert or extrovert, it still goes back to getting out of your comfort zone and going, okay, I'm an introvert, and this is not the most comfortable thing for me. But listen, getting out of your comfort zone is where the magic happens, So many of us would say that, so many of us leaders. So I think as an introvert, it's maybe just self-reflecting and going, this is super uncomfortable for me, but I have products and I have a business that's going to change people's lives. I've got to figure out a way to share it. And that's going to help you be more bold too. And I would think for an introvert, it might be easy to do voice messaging on Facebook. I think that's a big, big tip. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest takeaways that I've given my team, that they walk away and go, oh my gosh, that was life-changing. Sending voice messages on text and on Messenger as opposed to typing out a message. People can tell how excited you are about the business and the products when you're actually talking to them.
That's sound advice right there. Last question. How do you approach somebody who's not necessarily in financial need about this business?
Well, okay, I had this question last night too, and I think this is a really great question for me, especially being on this call with Rainey, because I think she could probably testify that everybody probably would have thought that I fell into that category even before plexus. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I had people in my network thinking I was crazy because I was doing this because they thought, quote, you don't need more money. And listen, my answer to this is always going to be the same. When do you not need more money? I mean, who doesn't need more money? There's a lot of organizations that I would love to support as I have more money, right? I would love to next month have enough money in savings to pay for both of my kids to go to college for 4 years. Pay it for that in cash, right? I wasn't there before, but I didn't need the money. Like, I think it's really just, first of all, going, okay, I think everybody needs the money, right? Unless you're Donald Trump, like, right? Then maybe he does not need to be a plexus ambassador. I don't know. Maybe he does need the product. I would say he definitely does need the product. And that's not a political post. Hillary does too. Maybe more so than him. But anyways, I just went there. I can't help it. And then I lose track. Okay, sorry. Then I lose my train of thought because I get passionate about every area of my life, right? Whether it's my relationship with the Lord, whether it's plexus, or whether it's politics. I'm just passionate. But I would also say there's a lot of folks in this business that, you know, if you've read the 4 color personalities for MLM, they're not in it for the money, right? If you are motivated by helping people, this can be your answer. If you're motivated by rewards and recognition, this can be your answer. If you're motivated by health and wellness and getting people healthy, this can be your answer. So I think you have to realize it's not just about money. We're super blessed that we're in a business that we make great money for changing lives, but ultimately it's about changing lives, and the paycheck is just a huge, huge bonus.
Y'all, she's amazing, isn't she? I know you've had an opportunity to get to know Celeste a little bit more. Your wisdom and your encouragement and your belief in those that are not ready to believe for themselves is something to be duplicated throughout, not just in our plexus journey, but throughout life in general. So I thank you, friend, for being here, for taking time out of your day with noise and all to invest in these amazing people. I promise you that they are blessed by you, and I know they're going to go out and be a blessing. The comments, I'm sure you're seeing them as they roll through. Everybody is grateful for you. The feedback has been super positive, and I am so very appreciative for you as a mentor in this business, but more importantly, as my friend for life. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And I really just want to quickly say thank you guys for your passion and for your excitement about this business. I know that I'm successful because Rainey's successful because all of you guys are successful. And I know how this works. And I'm just grateful for a team that has passion and is excited and is motivated and is driven to have success. And I appreciate you guys taking time out of the middle of your day to make your business and make this call a priority. So I am grateful for you, Rainey. I love you, and I'm grateful for your team.
Well, I love you too. I know this team loves you. And as always, we're just going to say, go Plexus. I'll stop the recording now and wish everyone a super, super day. Go make something amazing happen.